Hello, this is Victor at RestoreYourMercedes.com, and today on the bench here I have this cluster. This is a rare cluster. This is AMG SL600 AMG R129 chassis, 95 model. Now this cluster came in and it just was dead basically. I think only clock used to work or something like that, and the lights were just all over the place. But I just fixed it up, most likely, because I still have to test it on the vehicle regardless, because there's so many input signals that we need to see. We need to have to be present, so I can check up all the bulbs and needles, of course, the operation. The only thing what I can do on the bench here is that I can actually just activate the needles, right, to see if needles start moving at least, because before I didn't have illumination on the kilometer readout, and a couple of bulbs were on, but it was just bad. Needles obviously didn't move, so all of that good stuff. So at this point I just had basic power connection to this cluster, and it will only allow me to, well, clock will have to count. Right now I set the clock evenly at 12 o'clock, so by the end of the video hopefully we'll see the needle move forward. And second thing is illumination here for the kilometers. The bulbs are in there, except that the temperature itself does not have the sensor connected. It's on the bench. I mean, I don't want to connect each and every single input to it. I would just rather put it in the car and see how it actually works in a vehicle, right? So the illumination didn't work at all, and kilometers would not show, and the trip would not show at all. So that was just blank and dark, right? So like I said, I don't have all of the connections to it, so we only have limited amount of testing possible. I don't just want to go all the way. So let's put the power on. Once we put the power on, we see seatbelt illumination blinking. All right, that's fine. And now I have kilometers readouts. So yes, this vehicle has only 9,000 kilometers. Probably the lowest mileage AMG SL600. Yeah, the 9,000 kilometers, and the trip came back on. This is pretty cool. Second thing, what I can do now is, since I have a readout showing, I can just push on the switch here, and now I can actually get needles to move. So let's take a look. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and end. Now, as many as I've tried, I've seen so many different clusters in my life. For some reason, some needles do not reach all the way. I don't know why. Supposedly they're supposed to reach all the way, but they don't. Like this one, for example, won't go over. This one doesn't go over. This one stops at, like, whatever. But this one does. So pretty much it's a strange kind of setup. I never went to research that, but nonetheless, we do have operational needles. We have display showing, that means processor works, and that is really good. And yeah, so I'm pretty much happy with this. The cluster is probably going to be put into 140 chassis just to see if needles operate, and also warning lights. Although I won't see the roll bar because 140 chassis does not have roll bar. And this is exhaust temperature, which is something that is not found on US version vehicles, because we have check engine light here, right? So I don't know how this is going to play out, because the car that I have is European version. It's not US bound car, it's not Japanese. This is Japanese cluster. This car was bound to Japan. The car that I have, I can plug in this cluster, would have been European version. And it has check engine light though, but it seems like that cluster was replaced for US version cluster, and this bulb does not come on. So we'll see how it's going to play out. I might try to put this cluster into 93 600 SL US version vehicles, see what happens there, but I'm not certain if I will be able to. But so far, so good. I mean, we have this cluster operational, and of course it will go back into original vehicle, and then all of these things will be checked out. But so far so good. I also would like to check the backlit illumination. Well, that I can do on the bench. I can just connect the power to the back, to whichever pin I need to connect it to, just to see the backlight. 4 bulbs in the cluster, but again, they're easy to replace from the back, no problems. This is a 95 version. It's not the one that you have to open in 2 pieces to replace backlight illumination. So yeah, and this one, this is our dimmer, but obviously I have to have the signal coming in saying that lights are on in general, so then the dimmer would actually dim this display as well. But unfortunately, like I said, I'm only dealing with like 3 power wires. That's it, nothing else. And you're supposed to have a few powers, couple of grounds and stuff like that, plus all the other input signals. 4 plugs filled with wires, and I'm only using 3 out of all of these wires in the back of this cluster. So this is all I can get to show. And also, since I've been talking about this situation here, we can see that the clock also moved, so that means clock is operational. All right, so this is it. Quick video. One more time. Needles move. That's great. Odometer and trip meter in kilometers show up. So we're in good state. I think this is it. I clearly saw like couple of small little parts inside blown. No idea how that happened. Probably maybe jump start or something like that, and it just gave up. Or maybe the battery was swapped, positive, negative, negative, positive. I'm not sure, but they were just totally, they were just completely blown. So yeah, well, it seems like the processors didn't take any hits, so we just had like a power circuit issue, which is good, because when the power circuit goes, obviously no more power is given to sensitive circuits, to the processors, to chips, and that's basically all. It's just like a fuse, if you will. So yeah, the power circuit, the power is restored, and now operation of the cluster is also restored. Okay, this is it for me. Victor here, RestoreYourMercedes.com. Thank you for watching.